Honestly, I was absolutely buzzing. It's not just signed one of the best young strikers in the world. I think one of the best in it. At the age of 21, the more I think about the way the deals happened and the fee, the age, the quality that they're signing, the fact that City have needed a number 9 and got so far the last couple of seasons without one really. To get young Erling then with the quality that he's got, and the fact is, under Pep Guardiola, the better players he's going to be playing with, it's just an absolutely sensational signing when you add it all up together. The obvious thing's goals, but people can argue against that. And City scored 5 at the weekend, 5 a couple of weeks ago against Watford, 4 against Leeds, but we have been missing that out and out number 9, with players like De Bruyne, Riyad Mahrez, Jack Grealish, Phil Foden, Bernardo Silva, Ilkay Gundogan. You could go on and on and on, but the amount of chances that they do create, they've just needed an out-and-out finisher to do it, and Erling Haaland, one of the best in the world. No, not at all. Not at all. I think any player that comes into Manchester City, it's a new way of playing for them all, a new style. They've got quality players within there already. I look at Erling's improvement. I've followed Erling a long time, obviously the connection I've got with his dad, and the improvement from when he first signed for Dortmund to now, as in his whole round game, even in the last season or so. For somebody that's only 21, the maturity, the game management that it shows, he was, when he went there, he was an out-and-out goal scorer. That was it. Now he's holding up the ball, he's running the channels, he's closing down from the front. When you look at the amount of different goals that he scores, sometimes with centre forward, there's a trademark finish that you've got. You look at likes of Henry with the side foot when he opens out. But with Erling, it's left foot, right foot, outside the box, composure in front of goal, headers. And he's brought that more to his game now, and he's become much more of a team player. And I think the fact that he's at the level that he's at now, it's such prime time for Manchester City to go and get them. And I'll go back to it again, for £51 million to get a player of that quality in today's market. You're looking, and I'm not exaggerating, 150 to 200 million for that sort of player. So I think from the business side of it, I think Manchester City have got to take a lot of credit. There was no secret they were in for Harry Kane last season. Once the bidding went to a certain point, and that was when they pulled out, knowing that if they could manage to get through this season, there was a deal there to be done for Erling Haaland. And even going back to when Aguero was here, I know Manchester City were looking at him then. They were just waiting for the right time to do it. It probably would have cost them upwards of £100 million last season to get Erling Haaland. But they've trusted in Pep and what he's going to do. Still sitting top of the Premier League, so he can't say it's hindered them that much. But to get this deal done now, the cost that it's at, and it makes sense for so many reasons, from a business point of view, from a football point of view as well, from Erling. And I don't buy into this fact that every top club in Europe wanted to sign him. Every top club. So there was obviously Erling wanted to work with Manchester City, and especially Pep Guardiola, because he could have went anywhere. Business point of view, it slightly ups me a little bit that people are adding his wages into the deal, which never seems to get done. I didn't see that happening when Lukaku signed for Chelsea last year. It was 90 odd million. When Jadon Sancho signed, when Harry Maguire signed, when other big signings are signed for big clubs, the wages and the agent's fees over the course of the contract never get mentioned in it. But all of a sudden, because it's Manchester City, everybody's adding it all up. So but when you think £51 million, and I'll go back to it, that is a fee, and it's not even paid on, it's paid over instalments as they all do. It's just an unbelievable, sensational deal for Manchester City. And the fact there's that little emotional attachment as well, with his dad playing at the club. I remember a long time ago now, Erling being a little toddler having his Man City kit on when Alfie was at the club. So there's obviously a little bit of emotional bit there. But from a business point of view, especially a football point of view, it's just a sensational deal. Honestly, I'm not. Look, one thing I'm going to do is question Pep. That's way above my pay grade. I don't think he'll change that much. I really don't. And the quality that he's going to have around him, Erling, I don't think he'll have to change. His all-round game for somebody so young has already got so much better, and that's only going to improve. He'll probably have to link up a little bit more. Dortmund, on occasions, he has got a lot of space to run into. If you see some of his goals, teams are going to be playing a lot deeper, so he's going to have to be patient more than anything else. But as in City playing how they play, I don't think it'll change that much. I really don't. They've got so many quality players in the team. It might be slightly different, as in, when, say, Phil Foden plays that false nine role, or whoever it is that's playing it, they tend to come a little bit deeper to drag centre-halves out there. I think it'll be a positive that they'll have Erling Haaland in there occupying two centre-halves when everything else is going around them, whereas sometimes centre-halves don't have to worry about that because of the way Manchester City play. Now they're going to have a world-class striker to worry about, as well as everything else that's going on around them, the movement between all the wonderful players I just spoke about, the full-backs playing as inverted midfielders or playing as wingers. There's so much that's going to be going on that the service that Erling's going to get, and I can't see Manchester City changing that much with the personnel and the quality that they've got. It definitely gives them 100 million percent better chance of doing it. But even I disagreed with a lot of people last week, as in they were talking about the chances missed over the two legs, and we can all talk about that. But Manchester City still scored 5 goals over 2 legs, and if you score 5 goals against Real Madrid you expect to win the game. So maybe as a team they could have defended better, maybe managed the game better, 100% managed the game better out in Madrid. But it happens when you're in that, and I don't think Real Madrid got the credit that they deserved for coming through that tie. But I generally do think that with Erling Haaland in a Manchester City team creating the chances, you look back to the first half at the Etihad in the first leg, with it, it's easy to talk about hindsight and everything. If you had Erling Haaland in that team, Manchester City are scoring 5 goals in that first half. They were so dominant over both legs. And the chances were missed, but I think defensively as a team, they just switched off, and it was just a freak moment. But when you've got a centre forward, especially one like Erling Haaland, and let's forget, he will put the fear of God into defences now as well, because of the quality that he's got. They will know that the opposition teams, whether it be in the Premier League, Cup games, or in the Champions League, will know that they've got a lot more to contend with, which is what is already a world-class Manchester City team. Yeah, I'm not going to give anything away, but I do know that basically every top club in Europe wanted, and especially the fee, people keep going on about the add-ons and everything else, but they wanted Erling Haaland. There's no doubt about that, and no secret about that. But Erling's chosen it as a football decision. People saying it's a financial decision for his agents and his dad, and that's rubbish, because all the top clubs that are in from could have paid that and would have paid that. But Erling wanted to come to Manchester City, wanted to come to one of the best teams in the world, if not the best, with one of the best managers, if not the best in the world, and win things. That was his big thing, as a football decision. And maybe that little tiny emotional attachment from before is there as well. But he wanted to come to Manchester City to improve himself and to win trophies. And I don't buy into this fact that City were the only club that could have afforded him, because I do know for a fact that every top club in Europe wanted to sign him, but he chose Manchester City, which for Manchester City fans is absolutely amazing. Possibly, but I think there's no way Erling Haaland's going to play every single game in the Premier League, in the FA Cup, in the League Cup, and in the Champions League. When you sign for Manchester City, whether you're Kevin De Bruyne or Gabriel Jesus, you know that there's going to be squad rotation in there. Going back to Gabby, I'm a huge fan of him. I really don't think he gets the credit that he deserves from outside the club. I've seen somebody in the media was talking about him in January, February time, saying he's only got 1 goal in his last 10 games, and he was out injured for 9 of the games, and he was never going to be Sergio Aguero. He's a different player, but he contributes so much. And never mind him competing directly with Erling. You've got to look at his performances from wide areas have been excellent. His assists, his goals recently. And I still think Gabriel Jesus, alongside Erling Haaland and everybody else, everybody else now, with Erling coming in, it's going to add a little bit of extra pressure for them to keep replacing the team. But these top players, they thrive in it. I hope Gabby does stay, because he's loved by everybody at the club. He's loved by the fans. And when he plays, and a big sign for me with any sort of player, and if you look back over the last couple of seasons, Real Madrid, both legs, Gabriel Jesus started. The 2 Liverpool games this season, Gabby started. All the big European games, and when City play Liverpool, if Gabriel Jesus is fit, Pep plays him. And that shows you how much he trusts him and how much he thinks of him. And as a player, you want to play in these big games. And say 9 times out of 10, if Gabriel Jesus is available, he plays in them.